to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. All right, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Today, we are reviewing the script titled Explaining Contingencies and Establishing Confidence. As a reminder, the purpose of scripts and dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound. And I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. All right. So we are still on buyers, offers, and negotiations, explaining contingencies and establishing confidence. So set the stage. The buyer found the house they like. Now you talk to them about making an offer. You share with them what is going to happen next and what you're going to do to help them make a strong offer. Requirements are that you have to have a buyer's representation, you have to have that in place, and then identify a home that the buyer wants to make an offer on. The intention is to explain contingencies while establishing trust and confidence in you so that when they make an offer on the home they like, it will be a strong and fair offer they can live with. So are you guys ready to tackle this and see where it goes?
Kevin, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
Miss Emily, now that we have found a house that you like, it's time to make an offer. I will prepare a comparable market analysis, a CMA. A CMA represents the value of a specific property by analyzing similar homes that have recently sold in the area. This allows you to make an educated offer so that you are confident in your offer. Now, let's talk about contingencies. A contingency is a term for unexpected events or conditions. This means that an offer happens only if certain requirements are met. So contingencies are designed to protect you in the event that conditions are not met. The most common are home inspections, appraisals, and financing contingencies. We will put these into the contract as a standard of practice. Some people choose to waive contingencies, and my recommendation is to do not waive them or sign off on contingencies unless you have done your due diligence. If a contingency is not met, then you have a right to cancel the contract. Does all of that make sense?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So if something's wrong with the house, I don't have to keep going, right?
Correct. Lastly, I want you to know my position as a professional real estate agent. I represent you and for you. This is an emotional purchase. You're thinking about where you want to live, raising a family, and affordability. There is a lot of excitement, fear, doubt, relief, and sometimes a little anger and resistance. I'm here to help you think logically through the purchase. I'm not attached to any home we look at together. For example, if you say after the inspection, you want out of the contract and want to start looking at other homes, then that's okay. I'm happy to make the call to the listing agent and let them know that we're withdrawing. More importantly, when you do want to move forward, just know that I am going to do everything in my power and professionalism to help you make a fair offer, both your financial needs and emotional needs. And that's how I will serve you as your real estate expert and business professional. Do you have any questions for me?
What does that mean about the appraisal? You said the most common contingency are appraisals. Does that mean if the home doesn't appraise at the price I offer that I can't buy it?
That means that it just has to get appraised. That's all that means. If there is a appraisal contingency, then the appraisal is due in order for the deal to close. And the appraisal is used for other stuff as well. It basically means we have to get the appraisal done.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. All right. Yeah, I think I want to do it. What do you think I should offer?
Well, we want to come at it. We want to come at it strong, and we want to have a fair offer. So, if this house appraises at, let's say, 500K, then I think we should. Well, first we got to figure out what kind of terms you want. So, is there anything specific that I should know so we can kind of build this offer?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you've been talking to my lender, so I can afford it for what they're asking. I just think they're asking a little bit too much.
All right. Well, we can
Kevin,
start.
Kevin, if I may, go back to the very first paragraph. What does that say there? The second sentence. I will prepare
a comparable market analysis.
Right. A CMA estimates the value of a specific property by analyzing similar homes that have recently sold in the area. This allows you to make an educated offer so that you are confident in your offer. So the question is, Kevin, how much should we offer? You haven't prepared that as of yet. So we need to create a CMA, see what other homes are selling for in that area, get confident with it, share it with the buyer, and then allow them to make an educated decision based on the information that they have in front of her. So say that again in your own words.
Okay.
So Emily, ask the question again.
So I think they're asking too much. What do you think I should offer?
Well, first we have to compare. We have to create a CMA in order to kind of figure out what price is reasonable. And that's what I will do tonight. And then I'll get back up with you to determine a good price to offer.
Okay, that makes sense. So I have to look at homes that have sold in the neighborhood before I decide what I'm going to offer?
Well, you can look around if you want.
No, I mean at the report you prepare. I should look at those prices of the homes that sold before I decide what I want to offer.
No, we're gonna use those homes in the area to find a median price range, like
Okay.
in order to find like a good value for this particular house.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't think so. That sounds good.
The only thing that I would add to that last part, Kevin, is making an offer. Sometimes there's a little bit more of an immediacy. I wouldn't wait till the end of the night. I would I would tell the client, I'll pull that immediately. I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. That way, if you like what you see, you can choose what you want to make an offer at. We can write that offer and get it in by today versus waiting to the end of tonight, because if you wait till the end of the day, then they probably won't be able to see or review the offer, or might even not receive it, depending on how they've time blocked their schedule, but might even receive it until the following morning. And by that time, they could have received, 2 or 3 more offers. So my only suggestion is say, I'll get this over to you today. And if you like what you see, we can write up an offer, get it over to get it in by tonight.
And that's also communicating with the listing agent. When are you reviewing offers? To determine how quick you need to get that in, because it might be a couple days away where they want to look at all the offers, or they might take first and best.
That's a really good point. And before you even do the CMA, or you might even want to do them simultaneously, you can still pull the CMA because what's sold on the market is what's sold on the market. I mean, there's no discrepancies on that. I mean, the MLS is going to put out exactly what's happened, but calling the listing agent is absolutely critical to have the conversation. Hey, we're going to be making an offer. Just wanted to reach out, let you know to expect that. Just out of curiosity, we're writing this offer to get accepted. In your opinion, how should we write this offer so that we don't have this back and forth? What is your suggestions on that? They're not going to tell you like specifics about, what they got or what they, like what we talked about yesterday, developing agencies or creating agency. They're not going to say, well, this is what we've gotten so far, or this is the lowest price that the seller is going to say. But you can ask questions and explain to them, like, look, I really want to get this accepted, and I really don't want to go back and forth countering. So if you have ideas on how we can structure this offer to either eliminate or reduce the amount of that, I would really like to know from your perspective, talking to the listing agent. Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah,
Awesome.
that would like clear up any extra conversation, I guess.
Yeah, because I don't know, when you're talking to them, it's like, yeah, I've received this many offers. You better get your offer in today because we already have like 20 offers. Or like when I bought this place, the guy's like, I've had 30 people look at it and none of them has made an offer. So that's 30 rejections. So if you put in an offer, you're the only offer, basically, is what he's saying. It just depends on what's going on in the market. Is it crazy and there's a lot of competition? Or like now it's slowed down, homes are staying longer, people can't afford as much. So it just depends. But if you have that open communication with them, if they are willing to participate in that anyway, because not all agents are, I think that's your best bet, is reaching out to them and say, hey, I have a really interested client, kind of bait them a little bit so they open that line of communication.
And this is a perfect opportunity to practice on, the magic words. How would you feel if we did this? Or, and I have them in front of me, but when would be a good time to whatever submit this offer? Or I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to reviewing offers just yet, and then whatever it is that you want to say, you know. So I bet you can even stroke their ego a little bit. Hey, I bet you're a little bit like me, pretty busy and things like that. But just want to let you know that I'm on your side. I'm going to work with you and do what we can to make this a nice, clean offer and do it with flow and clarity. So the magic words can be incorporated into that conversation as well. So.
True.
All right. All right. So let's flip this script and let's have Emily do it. And Kevin, now you're the buyer.
All right.
Hi, Kevin. This is exciting that we finally found a house that you like. I know it's been a while, but
I know, right? It's been a while.
yeah, so we've looked at a lot of homes. So now that you've found the perfect one, it's time to make an offer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare a comparative market analysis, a CMA. This will show you what's been going on in the immediate market to where the home is, that, the neighborhood that you're looking at. So you can kind of see what things have sold for recently, and allow you to make an educated offer, like determine what you want to offer. And by looking at the homes that have sold around you, you can kind of gauge that. So you're confident in what you're offering the seller. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about contingencies. Contingency is a term for unexpected events or conditions. This means that an offer happens only if certain requirements are met. Contingencies are designed to protect you in the event that the conditions are not met. The most common are home inspections, appraisals, and financing. We put these into the contract as standards of practice. Some people choose to waive contingencies, and my recommendation is do not waive them or sign off on contingencies unless you have done your due diligence. If a contingency is not met, then you have a right to cancel the contract and you're not stuck in something that you're regretting. Lastly, I want you to know that my position as a professional real estate agent, I represent you, and for you, this is an emotional purchase. You're thinking about where you want to live and affordability, and there's a lot of excitement, fear, doubt, relief, and sometimes a little anger and resistance. And I'm here to help you kind of think logically through the purchase because I'm not attached to any home we look at all together. So, for example, if you say after the inspection you want out of a contract and want to start looking at other homes, then that's okay. This is one of the biggest life decisions that you're going to make. So I'm happy to make the call to the listing agent to let them know that we're withdrawing the offer. More importantly, when you do want to move forward, just know that I'm going to do everything in my power and professionalism to help you make a fair offer that fits both your financial needs and emotional needs. And that's how I'll serve you as your real estate expert and business professional. Do you have any questions that I can answer right now?
What's a contingency waiver? Wouldn't it kind of make sense to waive it so we can make the deal faster?
You can, yeah, and a lot of people do that, but I don't recommend doing that in case there's something that you run into in the house. Say if you waive the home inspection and then you buy the house and you move in and, something's wrong with it, like the plumbing or the electrical or something. You need to know ahead of time what you're buying. Everything is sold as is. Or if you're waiving contingencies, it's kind of like a buyer beware situation. It's just worth it to me for you to get what you pay for. And if you're paying for something and then you have to dump a bunch of money into it after you buy it because you didn't get a home inspection, then I'm not doing right by you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's kind of protecting you and the money that you're about to spend. Like I said, this is the biggest purchase that you're going to make, buying a home, this home or a future home. So you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself. And this is one way to do that. Any more questions?
No, that's all that I have.
All right. So I'm going to prepare that CMA, send it over to you. And let's get your offer in today because this neighborhood's pretty popular. So we want to get your offer in so they'll take a look at it. And I'm going
Absolutely.
to call the listing agent and see where they're at as far as how many offers they have already. Okay.
Okay. When is the soonest we can see it?
See what?
The home.
We've already seen it because you're making an offer.
Right. I'm sorry. I just woke up.
All right. Hey, I really Kevin, you crack me up sometimes, man.
Kevin. Oh, and some people buy homes sight unseen though, so that's a possibility.
Well, I have.
Yeah, and some people, if you're buying like investment property, they won't let you see it if there's a tenant in place until they accept your offer. So it's a viable, scenario.
That's true. But in this scenario, you did see it. So, but I want to share my screen with everybody. And if you're listening to this, you're not going to be able to see this. But either way, I want to share my screen with you and show you everything here highlighted in yellow, and we'll get to it. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything from the top. But everything highlighted in yellow shows everything that's contingency. So from here on out, throughout the rest of the document, look at everything in here. Now, I do want to add something to the script, is there will be a time that we will remove contingencies. Once the appraisal comes back, once the loan approval comes back, all these different types of things, the inspection, per the contract, you are going to have to release contingencies, but you do them as you go and as you're satisfied. So we don't just we just don't want to go into the offer and say, I release everything because I really want this property. Next thing you know, like Emily said, you're going to be buying a property that is no good. It could be way overpriced, and you might spend $200,000 over asking, and it doesn't appraise for that amount of money. So you're really operating in your client's best interest. So, but I just want to show you, and I only spelled it with the TING, not the ENCY, because contingencies is written in many different ways, but it does pop up quite a bit. For example, all cash offer. This agreement is not contingent on buyer obtaining a loan. Contingencies here, contingency of this agreement, it pops up a lot in the purchase agreement. Contingency and removal of contingencies, and just so that you're aware, a lot of that verbiage again came from this contract for the purpose of knowing what's in the contract and how we can best serve our clients and a fiduciary as a fiduciary. So I mean, look at this, just this one page alone. I mean, there's probably 20-30 different places that contingency is listed here. Title, condominiums, removal and waiver of contingencies. So this is why it's important to read through all these different things. Anyways, I'm just going to scroll through the rest of it. There's more, even the Megan's Law. It's all there. So here's another page just loaded with contingencies, the time periods. And that's where a good transaction coordinator, TC, will come into play, because they will keep you in a line with all the important dates and times and things like that. So we don't want to work with just any TC. You want to work with a TC who is going to actually help you stay on track and on time. Otherwise, you could potentially make a mistake as an agent too. So, with a broker, with a TC, and yourself, then you have all these measures in place to reduce as much risk as possible for yourself and for your client. So as I keep on scrolling, there's some more. I'm just going to scroll quickly so that we can see them all. I believe that might be it. No, there's one more. Hazard. Yep. Anyways, it pops up a lot.
I got a question. So when it comes to removing a contingency, do you have to create an addendum? I mean, not an addendum, but an amendment to the contract, or how does that work? Do you update it in the MLS?
Well, there's the CR form that it mentions in the contract.
The CR form.
Contingency removal form.
Okay, great.
Yeah, there's documents for everything, and if there's not a document for everything, then there's addendum for something. And, bottom line is, if your client is absolutely adamant about, I want to remove contingencies regardless of what you say, then you get that in writing, and you say, per my advice, I am per our conversation, I'm advising you not to remove contingencies. However, it is your wish to do so. So sign here, basically, And I would go to your broker at that point and say, what is the best way to word this so that I am covering myself and this is truly them making the decision all by themselves. You don't want to just say it yourself. You want to get a second opinion, maybe even a third opinion on how to properly phrase that. Because at the end of the day, again, if something happens and they come back to you and say, you told me to do this. Well, no, I didn't. Like, you signed off right here, and I had to advise you not to do that. That's it. Okay. Anything else to add before we wrap it up here?
I don't think so.
Cool. Hey, everybody. Here's just a really quick update regarding contingencies. California has updated some of their documents, and they created a brand new advisory form called the Non-Contingent Offer Advisory, also known as NCOA. You might want to check it for your state if you have one as well. Essentially, what it does is notifies a buyer of the risk of making offers without contingencies. It's very, very cool, and I think it does a great job at clarifying exactly the pros and cons of making an offer without contingencies. All right, that's it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it very useful. To download the script, just go ahead and head over to realestatescriptspodcast.com. There'll be a link there for you to download the script. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, or mentor for specific situations. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall at Repros, California DRE number 0185345.